Welcome everybody to Intensity Broadcasting. My name's Josh Hall. This is the Original Rebels Racing League Rebels Grand National Series here at Texas Motor Speedway on iRacing for the Horns Down 150. We're getting ready to do 100 laps here at Texas Motor Speedway, and it is the first race of the playoffs. So more excitement building right now. Jonah Colbert at the top of the board. Eddie Smith currently second on the charts as we see Eddie involved in a big wreck on the backstretch here. Garrett Kinder working to the outside of Tyler Rice. And again, first race of the playoffs here. We are getting ready to look at round number one. Let's take a look at the bracket tonight. See Eddie Smith at the top of the board. Jonathan Cofield in second. Those are with bonus points added for winning races. Michael Kosick back in third. Jonah Colbert, Matt Kleeman, all with the bonus points. And everybody else behind, all with 1,000 points. So Eddie Smith has 1,010 points. Jonah Colbert has 1,006 points. Mike Kosick, Jonah Colbert, Matt Kleeman all have 1,002 points. And then everybody behind is sitting at 1,000. So we got about a minute and a half before we go ready for qualifying here tonight. Of course, we want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight. If it's your first time here with the stream, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. It does mean a lot to us. It really helps us out. I also want to thank the great partners that help us out here and get this league going here each and every Friday here on Intensity Broadcasting. That includes Kinder Farm and Ranch, Cofield Asphalt Refinishing, Dark Horse Motorsports, Chuck Pegleg Felts, JC Race Graphics, and the Rebels Racing Network. Of course, here on Intensity Broadcasting, we also have a partner that we wouldn't be doing justice if we didn't talk about, and that is the Butt Kicker. Of course, Butt Kicker is an established and trusted leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker brand haptics let users feel ultra-low frequency sounds. Their products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. The patented design makes them incredibly accurate, powerful, and virtually indestructible. The Gamer Plus is a new and upgraded system that reproduces immersive, accurate, and powerful sim racing, flight sim, and gaming effects. To check out the full line of Butt Kicker products and figure out which one's right for you, visit thebuttkicker.com. Of course, they have more than just gaming haptics as well. They do have subwoofers that you can put in or around your couch for watching movies, listening to music. So a large range of products over at the Butt Kicker. So you can check that out at thebuttkicker.com. And it sounds like I have the voice chat on, which I apologize for. So let me get that off. Don't mind the ugly screen here, because we, especially in this league, we definitely don't want to have that voice chat coming through here. We know how some people can get. As qualifying is just about to get underway. We'll take a look to see who our first car is to make their way down on the pit road to get qualifying started. And it looks like it is the 13 of Garrett Kinder. And this is the old Texas Motor Speedway. This is the original Texas Motor Speedway, if you will. The banking on the backstretch really drops off fast. It's not as wide through turns 3 and 4 here as the new reconfigured Texas is. So we should see some fantastic racing here tonight. Won't be quite as super speedway-y as we saw on Tuesday night with the Doghouse Racing League running the new Atlanta. But we will see these drivers doing a little bit of drafting. Don't forget, Texas Motor Speedway is the home of one of the most violent wrecks that we've ever seen in qualifying in real life at NASCAR, when Michael McDowell lost control in turns 1 and 2, ended up barrel rolling through the corners, and I think that was one of the hardest hits that we've ever seen a Cup car take like that. So Eddie Smith currently up to the top of the board. Kinder currently sits in fourth. Andy Kurtz, another one of our playoff drivers, sits back in third. And I apologize, I did not highlight the playoff drivers' names. I will definitely have that set for next race so we can identify who is the playoff drivers and who is not. As Kinder makes his way across the line, he's currently in the second position. Jonah Colbert just coming across the line, or coming off the pit road to start his qualifying attempt. Daniel Cunningham making his way off of turn number 4. Down across the line, Cunningham's going to go P4. As Colbert just coming down to take the green flag in that Iron Monk machine. And this speedway has a lot of character. As I mentioned, when you come off of turn number 2, the banking really drops off quickly. So you see drivers getting really loose off of turn number 2. It's also a very bumpy track. You'll see these cars really bouncing around out there. As Colbert goes P2 on his first lap. Oh, gets a little loose down through turns 3, 4. Able to hold on to it, but that's going to kill his time. So he's going to back out of it and save the car. So Jonah currently up in the second position. William Griffith out on track in that Booberry machine. Coming down the backstretch. And Griff is coming down to the checkered flag. As he comes across the stripe, he's going to go P11. Steve McDonald just coming down to the stripe to take the checkered flag himself. And McDonald jumps up into P10. Brandon Wallace, with about a minute left here in qualifying, and that new paint job for him, that Budweiser machine. Coming to the stripe to take the green flag on his first of 2 laps. Kyle Roberts also out on track right now. Don't think he's going to have enough time to put a lap down. Wallace may be able to get this qualifying done. Through turns 3 and 4, down to the stripe. Wallace is going to go P15 on his first lap. It doesn't look like he's going to have enough time to get a second lap in. I'm just noticing the ghosting on that paint job as well. So that's a sweet looking paint job on that 99 machine as qualifying will conclude. And we get ready to look at our starting grid. Of course, your Peg Leg Pull Award winner tonight goes to the 87 of Eddie Smith. Jonah Colbert to his outside. JC Motorsports locking out the front row. Jonathan Cofield, he'll roll off from 3rd with Garrett Kinder from the 4th position. Then Daniel Cunningham and Andy Kurtz, your top 6, excuse me. Row 4 will find Ray Page and Tyler Rice with Jason Lottridge and Mike Kosick in row number 5. Row 6 will be Steve McDonald and William Griffith. Rolling off from 15th will be Brandon Wallace with Brandon Pollock to the outside. So row 8 is locked out by the Brandons. And then finally in row number 9 will be the 35 of Kyle Roberts and the 01 of Mickey Isaac. as the field lines up here. And we are waiting for the pace car to get rolling here so we can get ready to do 100 laps here around Texas Motor Speedway. Kevin Kinder in the chat says, hello, y'all. Let's go racing. Absolutely. I'm ready to go racing here at Texas Motor Speedway, although I do know the love that the Okies have for the great state of Texas. And if you couldn't hear my sarcasm in that voice, there definitely was some. So, of course, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. And check out our affiliate links down below. You can find the link to Race EPI if you're looking for setups and coaching. Check out the butt kicker if you're looking for that little extra edge, that little extra seat of your pants feel. You can find that at thebuttkicker.com, as well as intensitybroadcasting.com. We got the Kinder Farm and Ranch hats and t-shirts up on the website as well. So check that out over at intensitybroadcasting.com. So here we go. Pace car making his hard left-hand turn onto pit road. Eddie Smith making his way down to the starting zone to get this race underway. Green flag is in the air. The horns down 150 is underway here at Texas Motor Speedway. And Eddie Smith already getting the jump down into turn number 1. We see Jonathan Cofield in that pink and black machine supporting breast cancer down there, trying to already battle for the lead as they come off of turn number 2 and down the backstretch for the first time. Jonathan Cofield and Jonah Cobert side by side as they enter turn number 3. Garrett Kinder right up here in the mix as well as he's trying to move his way through the field here, already on the back bumper. And Eddie Smith will lead the first lap, as Daniel Cunningham is all over Garrett Kinder's back bumper, trying to take over that position. Ray Page in a little different colors than we're used to seeing. Normally Ray's vehicles look a lot like Kinder's, but today he's running that blue and yellow machine, so it'll be a little bit easier to see him out on the track as Andy Kurtz is trying to take a look down underneath Ray Page, as they are side by side. And Daniel Cunningham taking a look down underneath Garrett Kinder right in front. So Cunningham's going to make his move around the 13 of Garrett Kinder. And Andy Kurtz trying to get around that 41 of Ray Page. Kinder, though, staying right there, locked on the back bumper of that 54. Trying to get back, see if he can make a move to get back in position as they get. Kinder looks like he got a little loose there in the corner. And oh, Ray Page having some issues here. He is around on the backstretch. No caution. Now the yellow flag flies, and that's going to bring up our first Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind as we take a look to see exactly what happened to Ray Page here. It looked like he might have had a little bit of help. Oh, Ray just caught the wall coming off of turn number 2, and as he's trying to correct it after bouncing off the wall, he just gets a little bit sideways. No help from behind. He's going to catch that outside wall, come back down across the track. Look at Mike Kosick here in the line of fire. Oh, a little bit of contact there, and the 8 gets some damage as well. You see Kosick sliding back across the track. Doesn't look too significant. He should be able to get that fixed up and continue on, but a bit of damage to the 3 and the 41. Again, no resets in this league So these drivers will have to try to get these cars fixed up the best they can. Well, you all wanted it. You all asked for it. And we have delivered. If you go over to TennesseeBroadcasting.com, you will be able to find under the Original Rebels Racing League Kinder Farmer Ranch hats, t-shirts, and sweatshirts, as well as the Original Rebels Racing League logo t-shirt as well. So check that out over at IntenselyBroadcasting.com. We know we've had a couple orders already. We do appreciate the support, and I know the Original Rebels have been loving this design, so check that out over at IntenselyBroadcasting.com. Garrett gave us the okay to get those made for you guys, and we do appreciate the support on both ends. But here we go. Lights are off on the pace car. We're getting ready to go back green flag racing. Eddie Smith going to choose the inside lane, but Jonah Cobert up on the high side. That's going to put Jonathan Cofield and Daniel Cunningham back in row number 2. Garrett Kinder, Andy Kurtz back in row 3. See Ray Page way back in the back looking like one of those Northeast modifieds with no fenders on his car. So he shouldn't be, he might be a little bit under power here. So watch for him as the field makes their way around. But we are getting ready to go back green flag racing. Pace car getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. Eddie Smith's going to lead them back down. Green flag is in the air. There's no restart zone at this track, so Eddie able to take off as soon as the pace car makes its way on the pit road, and already has himself a great lead as they go down into turns 1 and 2. Jonah Cobert and Jonathan Cofield still battling for that second spot. Daniel Cunningham out in front as Andy Kurtz is now taking a look to the outside of Garrett Kinder. And Kinder able to stay out in front of that 5 machine. So keep Kinder up into the 5th position. As Eddie Smith is starting to get a little bit of pressure from behind in the form of his teammate, Jonah Cobert. A little further back, there's a battle back here between Matt Kleeman and William Griffith as one car way down on the apron. That was Brandon Pollock. Looked like he got a little loose. Able to save it going down the back stretch. Great save for that 4 machine. As Griff is able to get around Kleeman, here comes Travis Bieber trying to do the same thing with Kyle Roberts in tow. Now Roberts looking down to the inside. Oh, some contact between Roberts and Bieber. Bieber looked like he might have just caught the wall a little bit, much like we just saw Ray Page do. And got up into the side of Kyle Roberts, but I don't think there's enough damage on that 35 machine to slow him down. So move him up into the 12th position. Take a look at the side of that car. Yeah, no damage to that 35 as we are working lap number 11 of 100. And as the laps wind down, we'll start to see these cars really start to handle poorly. Again, this is an old racing surface here at the Old Texas. This is well before the repave. So we're kind of going back in time with this one a little bit, but really aggressive, abrasive track, really rough on these tires. Already we're seeing about a half a second of drop off as we're working lap number 12. Once these cars hit about lap 25, we're going to start seeing what the driver would start to call the cliff. It's where the tires kind of just drop off and the handling completely goes away, kind of like the grip level fell off the cliff, if you will. Cleveland working to the outside of Jason Lottridge. Lottridge in a bit of a backward slide right now. I don't know if maybe he caught the wall, has a little bit of damage to the right side of that car. We'll see as he comes by this time, see if there's any damage to that 48. We see it not handling very well at all. Yeah, you see a little scrape up on the side of that 48 machine, so that car has been up into the wall. And he's slowly sliding back through the field as we see the damaged machine of Mike Kosick trying to work around that 48 as well. Cofield with a move to the inside of Jonah Colbert. They go side by side through turns 1 and 2. Cofield with that inside advantage, that shorter way around, but Colbert with that high lane able to keep the momentum and keep himself out in front of the 58. So Cofield is going to have to regroup and try to do it all over again. Daniel Cunningham working on the back bumper of Tyler Rice. As they rocket side by side down the backstretch. This is a battle for the 6th position, as Cunningham's going to take over that 6th spot. And he's going to work on trying to chase down Andy Kurtz, who currently runs in 5th. Garrett Kinder has moved himself up into the 4th position, and currently the fastest car on the track as he is running down Jonathan Cofield. As we see, Kinder thought about making a move to the inside, has to tuck back in line. Kinder, though, we see that great run that he's able to get down into the corner. So we ride along here with Garrett Kinder. Little wiggle out of the 58 machine. That's going to allow Kinder to pull right alongside, and he's going to get around that 58. So move Garrett Kinder up into the 3rd position as we are working lap number 19. As Jonah Colbert makes his way around Eddie Smith to take over the lead. And now Smith has Garrett Kinder with the big run down the backstretch with Kinder with nowheres to take it. He's going to stay in line at the moment. Oh, we see a wiggle out of Eddie Smith, and that's going to allow Kinder to pull right alongside down the front stretch, down into turn number 1. And Kinder has Cofield and Kurtz right there in tow. So as they come down the backstretch, ooh, Eddie, another big wiggle off of turn number 2. It looks like Eddie's car just is not handling the way he wants it to handle right now. Oh, yeah, look at that big turn back to the right. And as a driver, that's the most helpless feeling, having to turn that wheel to the right in the corner. You see Cofield going by as well. Eddie trying to hold on that high side, but as he gets off the corner, you just see the back end step out, and he has to turn that wheel to the right to counter steer to catch the slide. Seeing a lot more, though, here in turns 3 and 4 as he's kind of got the wheel straight going through the corner. Eddie Smith, a very busy man in the cockpit of that 87 machine. And now Smith has to deal with, a loose race car as Andy Kurtz is going to go to the outside now. So he's got to deal with Kurtz, who's trying to find his way around that 87, but Eddie almost gave him a little bit of help there, as Eddie got really loose there off a turn at number 2. There goes Kurtz down to the inside of Eddie Smith, trying to take over that 4th position. And right now, your top 5 pretty much lined up here. Going to be single file once Kurtz completes the pass of the 87. And then it's about a 2-second gap back to 6th place Daniel Cunningham, Steve McDonald, Matt Kleeman, and Travis Bieber. Bieber is battling right now with Tyler Rice, and he's got Kyle Roberts right there as well. These drivers are almost able to hold, when they're on fresh tires, almost able to hold it wide open all the way around the track. Hear that lift into the corner that Kinder has to use to slow it down to make the corner. Not really using any brake, just using the engine to slow that car down. Drives it real deep down into turn number 3. So we ride along with Kinder here and take a look at just how this track looks from the driver's eye. And as they come through turns 1 and 2, see Kinder running up just a little bit higher than Jonah Colbert is. And as they come off the corner, you see that banking really drop off quickly. And that can be troublesome. That when that banking goes away that quickly, the grip goes away, and you start to see cars getting really loose off the corner like we saw with Eddie Smith just a few laps ago. Kinder is trying to run down the 31 of Jonah Colbert. Oh, Jonah getting a little loose off the corner. That's going to allow Garrett Kinder to take a look down to the inside. And we've got a battle for the lead as Garrett Kinder pushes up the track into the side of Jonah just a little bit. And Jonah gets loose. Cofield around, spinning through the grass. Caution is out. And that's going to bring up another Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage rewind. We take a look to see exactly what happened here to the 58. So we saw the contact between Kinder and Colbert. And Colbert got really loose there off the corner. He's still a little loose trying to gather it up. And then Eddie Smith looks like he ran into the back of that 58, turns that 58 around. So he goes sliding right through the grass. A little bit of damage to the front end of that 58 as well as the rear end. But it looks like he'll be able to continue on. And this should bring the entire field down onto pit road. I know these drivers want tires. So yep, here comes the entire field down pit road, led by the 13 of Garrett Kinder. So I'll hit their pit stalls. We take a look here. Eddie Smith's right side, are up in the air. There's Cofield making his way down to his pit stop. Kinder down away. Kurtz comes off pit road second. Eddie Smith still sitting on pit road. Eddie getting some damage fixed. Same thing with Jonah Colbert. So a couple of these drivers deciding to stay in the pits, to get as much of that damage fixed up as they can. But that is going to shake up the front just a little bit as we see Garrett Kinder going to take over the lead. Andy Kurtz currently in second. Steve McDonald, Daniel Cunningham, and Matt Kleeman make up your top 5. Don't forget to join us Sunday night for the Original Rebels Racing League truck doubleheader. First round of the playoffs for them as well. They'll be taking on Auto Club Speedway for 2 100-lap races. So tune in Sunday night. You're not going to want to miss that. Then our Tuesday night doubleheader will feature the Doghouse Racing League Truck Series. As they will be taking on Richmond Raceway, followed immediately by the SCSRA Truck Series, which their postseason is coming pretty soon. They will be taking on the road course at Watkins Glen. So Richmond and Watkins Glen on Tuesday night. Then Wednesday night, you'll find the SCSRA Xfinity Series, as they will be taking on the Daytona road course. Thursday night will be Thunderstruck, and then next week here on Intensity Broadcasting with the Grand National Series, we will be taking on the Charlotte Roval for 30 laps. So exciting week of racing up ahead. Hit that little notification bell so you never miss a race here on Intensity Broadcasting. But lights are off on the pace car. Garrett Kinder choosing that inside lane that's going to put Andy Kurtz up to the high side. Steve McDonald, Daniel Cunningham back in row number 2. Tyler Rice, Matt Kleeman back in row 3. William Griffith and Kyle Roberts in row 4. And then Eddie Smith and Travis Bieber round out your top 10. So just about a third of the way through the race, Garrett Kinder is going to lead him back down to the start. Again, no restart zone, so the leader can go as soon as that pace car makes its way down onto pit road. Kinder going to keep them a little stacked up just a little bit longer. There we go, green flag back in the air, and Kinder with a good jump as Andy Kurtz and Steve McDonald are now battling for that second position right behind him as they go side by side down to turn number 1. Daniel Cunningham right behind. He's going to tuck in behind Steve McDonald, try to follow that 68 by. As Kurtz is kind of hung up on the high side right now, he's going to fall back into the 3rd position as Steve McDonald now trying to make him move to run down the 13 of Garrett Kinder. And Kinder did not fire off the last run very well. He kind of fell back just a little bit. I don't know if he was saving his tires for the end of the run, or because he was the fastest car there at the end of the run, or if he just struggles here on the cold tires. Right now able to stay out. Oh, as Steve McDonald gets really loose there off of turn number 4. Andy Kurtz and McDonald side by side through turns 1 and 2. So this battle of second continues to heat up. Just behind, we've got another gaggle of cars as Eddie Smith and Kyle Roberts are making their way around Daniel Cunningham. So Cunningham stuck up on that high lane. Currently going backwards. We see Mike Kosick, who was involved in an early incident, make his way through the field as Bieber gets shuffled out of line. Does a great job able to hang on to it as they're almost 3 wide off of turn number 4. Kosick trying to make everything he can do up on that high side. Up front, Steve McDonald was just battling with Garrett Kinder trying to take over the lead. That's allowed Andy Kurtz to catch right back up to the back bumper. But here comes Eddie Smith down on the low side. So Smith able to get that car fixed up enough to be competitive again. And he's up into the 3rd position. Eddie mounting a charge, looking down to the inside of McDonald. Andy Kurtz is going to follow that 87 on through. So Eddie Smith now up into the 2nd position. Kurtz was not able to get around McDonald for that 3rd spot, so he's going to tuck back in line, regroup, and try to mount another charge here. As Eddie Smith now trying to run down the 13 of Garrett Kinder to retake the top spot. Here comes McDonald, though, pounding it down into turn number 1, trying to retake that 2nd position. Trying to throw a bit of a slide job, just not quite close enough to close the door. Now Kurtz down to the inside, trying to push McDonald along as well. So side by side for that 2nd position, Garrett Kinder likes what he sees in the mirror that allows him to kind of just roll off a little bit and run half throttle for a moment, try to save a little bit of fuel and tires. As, almost some contact between Eddie Smith and McDonald. As they come across the line to start lap number 41. And McDonald's going to slide up in front of the 87 of Smith. So a little slide job there from McDonald to keep himself up in the 2nd position. Off of turn number 4, now Smith is going to have the advantage on the inside. He's going to push from the 5 of Andy Kurtz. Kyle Roberts trying to follow through as well. And he's going to as McDonald's going to fall all the way back. And now Daniel Cunningham taking a look down to the inside of McDonald. And Jonah Colbert right there as well, trying to get by that 68 machine. Meanwhile, while that's going on, Eddie Smith has Andy Kurtz starting to run him down just a little bit. Last time by, Andy Kurtz was the, actually I take that back, Mike Kosick was the fastest car on the track last lap by. As Garrett Kinder continues the lead. Now the field's starting to spread out just a little bit or get single file. So Bieber now on the back bumper of Jonah Colbert. And up front, we got a battle shaping up for the lead as Eddie Smith is now running down the 13. Daniel Cunningham trying to run back down Kyle Roberts, but Roberts a bit too fast right now as he's coming up on the back bumper of Andy Kurtz. And we're seeing it's just so tough to pass here tonight. It's Mike Kosick, who had all that damage earlier, is currently running down the 68 of Steve McDonald. Jonathan Cofield getting around the 12 of Griff as Ray Page stays down on the apron, stays out of the way. And Kleeman with the run down on the inside of the 12 of Griffith. As Kleeman moves right around. And, oh, Roberts having some issues here. He's just lost a ton of positions as he falls all the way back to the 9th position. Looks like Kyle Roberts might have gone off track a little bit. Let's take a look here. Gets really loose off of turn number 4. Goes down through John Deere country. Gets back up on track. So no harm, no foul to the driver of the 35 machine. Might have a little bit of splitter damage, but I don't think it's going to be enough to affect the speed of that 35 machine. As Eddie Smith has now officially caught Garrett Kinder. He was just within a 1/10 of a second. As we come to the crossed flags, signifying halfway through the event. McDonald trying to make his way back up to through the field as he's to the inside of Jonah Cobert, trying to reclaim that 6th position. Just not close enough to try to get around that 31 machine. Andy Kurtz trying to run down Eddie Smith as Andy was just flying through the field. Taking a look now to the inside of Eddie Smith to try to take over that 2nd position. And he will easily take over that 2nd spot. So Kurtz now trying to run down the 13 of Garrett Kinder. Oh, one car around. That was Bieber just got really loose there off of turn number 2. Able to hold on to it, though, but he's going to lose a position here as Jonah Cobert has a head of steam trying to work down to the inside of the 114. And Jonah's going to have the position to the inside. Steve McDonald going to try to follow through here as well. Bieber now stuck up on that high side. He's able to clear the 31 yet again. Here comes McDonald with a run down to the inside of Jonah Colbert, and Colbert gets loose there for a second, washes up the track right in front of Mike Kosick, who has to hit the brakes to avoid running in the back of the 31, and they both lose a ton of positions. As now Kosick, who is just up into the 7th position, now finds himself back in 10th. As Jonathan Cofield almost just got into the side of Kyle Roberts. Back up front, Andy Kurtz has Eddie Smith. These two have been trading back and forth for the last few laps. Smith trying to stay right there with the 5 of Kurtz. Of course, these drivers will have to stop one more time for fuel. More importantly, these drivers are probably crying for tires right now, as this is about the point of the run, as we saw in the first part of the race, where the tires really start to give up and drivers really start slip sliding around. Now, Garrett Kinder out in front, he's going to have the cleanest air. You're going to see he's going to have the best handling car on the racetrack right now. You see him holding a real pretty wheel. Not really sawing on the wheel, not really having to turn that wheel back to the right. But if we move our way through the field just a little bit, we ride here with Daniel Cunningham, who's in a bit more dirty air. You can see him just trying to hang on to that car. You see that the hands not quite as pretty as we just saw in the hands of Garrett Kinder. Oh, Cunningham shutting the car off. He's trying to save some fuel here. Where we go up front, we don't hear our leaders saving nearly as much fuel as some of these drivers in the rear are. Is Cunningham trying to stretch it all the way to the end? I don't think he'll be able to make it to the end, but the more fuel he saves, the shorter that final pit stop will be, as Andy Kurtz now takes a look down to the inside of Garrett Kinder. Kinder, on that little bit higher side, is able to... Well, I thought he was going to be able to stay out in front, but he's going to yield that position to Andy Kurtz. So Garrett Kinder now back in second, as Eddie Smith now takes a look down to the inside. And moves Smith up into second. So I think Kinder... I may have just looked down at his fuel gauge. Let's see if he shuts it off here into turn 3. Now, not saving any fuel in that 13 machine. But running behind Eddie Smith here will save just a little bit more fuel. Although Kinder looks like he's trying to find a way back around the 87 of Eddie Smith. A little further back, a little battle back here between Matt Kleeman and Mike Kosick. Kosick trying to corral his way back up to gain some points here as they go around the outside of the lap car of Jason Lottridge, who just came off a pit road. So Kosick, who showed some speed earlier, now finds himself in a position with a lot of damage to his race car, a lot more than I thought he had at first. And he's just struggling to try to hold on to have a good points day here tonight. Eddie Smith is slowly running down the 5 of Andy Kurtz. Now Smith has Garrett Kinder looking down to the inside. And Kinder going to retake that second position. Which makes me wonder if Eddie Smith just looked down at his fuel gauge and thought about saving a little bit here. So earlier I mentioned the tire fall off as they make their way around Ray Page. Riding along here with Andy Kurtz. Doesn't sound like Kurtz is saving any fuel. Now he's still pushing as hard as he can as Brandon Pollock makes his way down on the pit road. And looks like a few other drivers making their way on the pit road along with Garrett Kinder, Eddie Smith. So I was going to say the fall off is already about 2 seconds a lap from what fresh tires would do. So theoretically, once these drivers get off of pit road, they will be 2 seconds a lap quicker than the leader, Andy Kurtz. So will Kurtz respond here? Is he going to make his way down on the pit road? Yes, he will. How about Daniel Cunningham also down on the pit road? Matt Kleeman, Kyle Roberts, Steve McDonald all stay out as Jonathan Cofield, Mike Kosick all make their way down pit road as well. And Griff looks like he's going to stay out another lap as well. So McDonald now out in front. Now he's going to peel off and hit pit road. So isn't Kyle Roberts. Matt Kleeman. See what Griff does here. Griff's going to come down pit road as well. Brandon Wallace still out on track. And, well, we all know Brandon Wallace likes to stretch fuel as far as he can. But it looks like he's going to make his way. No, he's going to pass pit road. It sounded like he was going to come down pit road, but he's going to stay out. While the field is pitting and spread out just a little bit, I think I found our paint of the night here. Well, my buttons are a little messed up there. Sorry for that. I'm not able to zoom in the way I want to. I apologize for that right there. With the magic of iRacing, I have my buttons too quick. But yeah, a great looking car right there. Looks to have a little bit of a carbon fiber look to it, as well as the ghosting on the side. In fact, I like that so much. I don't know why that one popped up there. I thought I changed it. We are going to go ahead and give that one the no-neck paint of the night, the 99 of Brandon Wallace, in that sweet carbon fiber and ghost. You see the ghost logo right behind the 99. I wish I could get a better view of it, but don't have the settings right here. So Brandon Wallace getting the no-neck paint of the night. Tyler Ice now moves around Brandon Wallace to take over the lead momentarily. Jonah Colbert runs back in the third position. Jonah pit on lap number 60. Kinder, Kurtz, Eddie Smith, everybody else kind of pit on lap 67 or 68. So Jonah out there on about 7 lap older tires. He can make it to the end as we're coming to 25 laps to go. Just a matter of, can those tires hold out? He's got Garrett Kinder, who's slowly gaining on him, but Kinder is 2.5 seconds behind the 31. As Tyler Rice and Brandon Wallace continue to lead this. Again, these two have not been on pit road for the final time. Here comes Jonah Cobert, who has been on pit road, and you see the speed difference between these two drivers. However, last lap by Jonah Cobert ran a 30.76, and Garrett Kinder ran a 30.03. So almost 0.3 of a second slower our leaders running than second place, what will be second place, Garrett Kinder. And Garrett Kinder, Brandon Wallace, you see these lap cars way off pace. That really hinders the momentum of Kinder, Kurtz. I think Eddie Smith was right here as well. Yeah, Eddie was in this group as well. Eddie had to back out of it to keep from running into the back of these drivers as they made their way around the lap traffic. And now Garrett Kinder is there. This is just what 7 lap difference on tires makes. Jonah's going to block down to the low side. Kinder up on the high side. Andy Kurt's going to take it all the way to the mountain. They're going to be 3 wide as they come through the quad oval. Ooh, Brandon Pollock around on the backstretch. He gets it going again as Garrett Kinder is going to come out with the lead. Andy Kurtz in second, Eddie Smith in third. Now Kurtz all over the back bumper of that 13 machine, trying to find a way around Garrett Kinder. So he's going to make a look down to the inside. Kurtz has the position down into turn number 3. They're still side by side through turns 3 and 4. Down to the stripe, and Kurtz. Actually, Kinder's going to lead that lap by just a nose. 0.03 was the interval at the line. Neither one of these drivers want to yield their position. As Eddie Smith waiting in the wings. And now Andy Kurtz is going to take over the lead. But here comes Garrett Kinder trying to fight back up on the high side with just 20 laps to go. Kinder now tucking down in behind. He took a look to the outside, takes a look to the inside, back to the outside, not finding a place to make the move. And he's going to stay right behind the 5 of Andy Kurtz. As these two are starting to pull away from Eddie Smith just a little bit. Well, this one looks like it's going to come down to the very end. Andy Kurtz, Garrett Kinder, and Eddie Smith all running within a few car lengths of each other. As Jonah Cobert runs way back in third, you see him at the top of the screen, falling back hard. And then from Coburn, it's another 2.5 seconds back to the 54 of Daniel Cunningham, who runs back in 5th. So right now we have a 3-horse battle for the lead. Andy Kurtz, Garrett Kinder, Eddie Smith. Looks like Kinder might be slowing down just a little bit. Yeah, Eddie Smith is going by. Either Kinder burnt his stuff off or he's starting to save a little bit for the end, trying to get those tires cooled down so he can make a run at the end here. Kinder's lap times have fallen off a half a second to the leaders here. Last time by, Kurtz ran a 30.91. Eddie ran a 30.97. Kinder ran a 31.45. So they're just putting on a show. I'm starting to think that Kinder may have burnt his tires off here. Let's take a look at that wheel as he goes down into turns 1 and 2. So Kinder holding a really pretty wheel. Oh, you hear that car step out just a little bit. He had to get off the throttle. That time got a little loose off of turn number 4. So Kinder battling with that machine as we have less than 15 laps to go. Tyler Rice just made his way down on the pit road. Looks like he is the last car to pit. No, I take that back. Brandon Wallace is still out on pit road, or still out on the racetrack. Brandon has not been on pit road since lap number 31. And I think he's just trying to catch a caution here to try to put himself in position. He might keep a set of tires where other people may not have those tires. And Wallace just trying to steal one. Well, last time by, both Andy Kurtz and Eddie Smith ran identical lap times, 31.08, 31.07 respectively. Let's see what they do this time when they come across the line. Pretty much the same thing. Kurtz ran a 31.10. Eddie ran a 31.09. Kinder, though, back in the time here, he just ran a 31.2. So Kinder is about almost 0.3 of a second slower than our two leaders, but that could be by design, as we are coming to just 10 laps to go. Eddie Smith continues to run just a little bit quicker than Andy Kurtz. With laps running down, will Smith have enough time to catch that 5 car? It's one thing to catch him, it's another thing to pass him. As Eddie just got loose off of turn number 2. That's really going to hurt his time. I think that might have been just enough of a bobble to keep Eddie Smith back in that second position as they come across the line this time. See, that time Smith lost a bit of time getting loose off of turn number 2. See Kinder a bit slower than Kurtz as well. Now Eddie Smith really starting to struggle here on the later part of this run. I'm wondering if Smith actually got up into the wall. Let's take a look at this car as he comes by. See if there's any damage to the right side of this machine. A little bit, but I think that might have been there from earlier. So it's tough saying, not knowing. As Andy Kurtz's lead has now been stretched to over a second. And Garrett Kinder currently trying to run down the 87 of Eddie Smith with just 5 laps to go. Mike Kosick trying to run down Steve McDonald. I'm sorry, Mike Kosick trying to run down Kyle Roberts. My mistake. And Kosick currently running that 35 machine down. Kosick is almost to the back bumper, trying to move himself up into the 7th position. Get one more point for the playoffs here. As Andy Kurtz is coming across the line, we have just 3 laps to go. Coming up on the lap car of Brandon Wallace. He's going to put that 99 machine down a lap. He was still last on pit road on lap 31. So he is still out there just trying to save fuel. He is currently in that lucky dog position. As we have just 2 laps to go. Clear sailing for Andy Kurtz out in front. Eddie Smith able to get around the lap car of Brandon Wallace. Looks like Garrett Kinder is going to be able to sneak on through as well. As Andy Kurtz makes his way through turns 3 and 4. And he's heading towards the white flag here at Texas. Just one more lap to go for the driver of the 5 Chevrolet. Down through turns 1 and 2. And with just over a 2-second lead, he's kind of on cruise control right now, although Garrett Kinder has run down Eddie Smith, trying to take over that 2nd position. Andy Kurtz comes off of turns 3 and 4 for the last time. And Andy Kurtz is going to win it as Garrett Kinder is going to take a look on Eddie Smith, but he is not going to take that position. Eddie Smith's going to come home 2nd. Kinder's going to come home in 3rd. Jonah Colbert will bring it home in the 4th position, and Daniel Cunningham will round out your top 5. But Andy Kurtz, what a great run here tonight. Getting the win. As he's going to come down onto the front stretch to celebrate his win. And, swing and a miss for the traditional Rebels Demolition Derby. Let's take a look at the results as Kurtz gets up into the fence. Again, Andy Kurtz is your winner. Eddie Smith comes home second. Garrett Kinder, Jonah Colbert, and Daniel Cunningham are your top 5. Steve McDonald comes home 6th. Kyle Robertson 7th. Mike Kosick, Travis Bieber, and William Griffith your top 10. Matt Kleeman, he's going to come home 11th. Brandon Wallace in 12th. Tyler Rice 13th. Jonathan Cofield, Jason Lottridge, Brandon Pollock, Ray Page round out the rest of the field. And, unfortunately for Jonathan Cofield, I'd have to give him the Cofield Asphalt Tough Luck Award here tonight. From this incident earlier in the race, or of no doing of his own, just running up front, and finds himself in with Jonah Colbert and Eddie Smith, and ends up coming home in the 14th position. But let's talk to our top 3 here tonight, as we get them dialed up here. Starting with our 3rd place finisher, Garrett Kinder. Kinder, you got, hang on one second. There we go. Kinder, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
I got you.
Man, a great run here tonight. Led some laps. Started getting shuffled to the back. Looked like you might have burned your tires off there on that second run, but still able to bring it home P3 tonight. Talk about your race there, especially that last run.
Oh, man, that race was fun. I'd never driven this track before, so just an absolute blast. I like this track a lot more than what they got at New Texas, so hopefully we continue to run this one. That last run, I think it kind of everybody evened out. They figured out exactly what they were doing. 1 and 2 was the moneymaker. 3 and 4 is still almost wide open early on. Then you're doing some late lifting. But 1 and 2 is really the moneymaker. I found out that lifting way early and coasting it in and then driving hard off the bottom, it actually saved the right rear a little bit, and that's what was killing a lot of people. Just overdrove it. Cream of the crop rises to the top there towards the end of the race. So it was a lot stouter battles up towards the front. So I was driving the wheels off of it, trying to stay out in front. And I got that right rear heated up, overdriving into turn 3 and 4, and Kurtz just drove out of my life, and Eddie right in front of him. Started reeling Eddie back in. I don't know how much he was just toying with me, but man, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Man, a great run. We ran along with you at one point, and the car seemed really evil in that first run. A bit too loose. Was that just burn off that right rear just a little too quick?
Yeah. I mean, overall the car was pretty edgy. Pretty much the whole run. Even starting off on fresh tires, if you didn't drive the line right, it would snap loose pretty easy. So, pretty edgy setup overall, but just really fun. That first run, I was dialing it in, trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to do. But I didn't put too much stock in that first run. Just I burnt my stuff up, but then kind of learned from there and made some better runs in the second and third run.
Well, a great job here tonight, coming home P3 on a tough racetrack for sure. Especially looked like it was pretty tough to pass out there, but a great job. Before I let you go, Garrett, anyone you want to thank, any shots you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank Jonah and Daniel. They do a good job putting this series together. I'm glad they brought back these Gen 6 cars. They're fun to drive. You can wheel them around still, so it's a lot of fun. I got to thank Kinder Farm and Ranch and Ratchet Speed Shop. I love having them on board. Dad's already been texting me, so big shout out to y'all watching back home. Big Frig and Cross 5 cattle coolers. If you want to keep your stuff hot and keep your stuff cold for cheaper and longer than anybody else, make sure you check out Big Frig and Cross 5 cattle coolers at bigfrig.com. Wolfpack Racing, Ray Page over there, looks like he had some rough luck, was tied up in that early caution, unfortunately, but good seeing him out on the track. Hopefully get to see him again soon, him and Andy both. All my teammates over at Reaper Racing, just absolute, just about everybody in the field. I mean, I know I've got teammates, but I like racing with absolutely everybody. It's fun. And of course, all my short tracking guys, Velocity, Shock Eye Race Performance, and Superior Performance Motorsports. It's just a lot of fun. Thank you up in the booth. It's just I like running these Friday night races, man. Got doubleheader arc coming up after this. It's a good time.
Well, I know you can't run Sundays anymore, but we miss seeing you out there on Sunday nights. But great run here tonight, and we look forward to talking to you again soon.
I appreciate you, brother.
Have a great night.
See you.
So that was your third place finisher, Garrett Kinder. Let's bring in your second place finisher, Eddie Smith. Eddie, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Hey, what's up?
Man, rough race for you. Coming home P2 was nice, but you got caught up in that early one, and I think you got a little bit of damage when Cofield came back up in front of you. Talk us through that middle part of the race there where everybody's tires just seemed to go away and the incidents were coming out.
Yeah, I don't know. When I got the damage, now that it's playoffs, you really have to think about points, and you can't really take too many chances. So I had about 12 seconds of repair. Figured I better come on down, and there was enough time in the race to make use of it. So went ahead and got the repair. Luckily, was able to just. Honestly, I never had to lift really. I was able to take almost every run, following Travis Beaver up through the field. Man, he was flying, making the gaps, and I just followed him, and they got an opportunity to get around him, and got up to second place, I think, and was able to be there when the pit stop cycled around. So just yeah, I mean, had I had to lift at any point, it would have really slowed the progress up, since you were pretty much on the throttle, 100% of the time until about 20 laps or so. So, yeah, just try get attribute the middle of the race for me to Travis Beaver, because he made a mad run through the field.
Yeah, and that last run there, I thought you were going to be able to run down Andy, or at least give him a run for his money. And then you started to fall off a little bit. Did the tires just wear off from trying to push too hard, or what happened there at the end?
Yeah, I was taking it easy. If they wanted to race, I was going to let them race. Was more than willing to just hang out. I'd been trying to back up my tire burning the first run. I really smoked them. Second run, about the same, trying to run up through the field. And then the last time, I thought, well, I'll just save a little bit. And but just can't save when you're leaning on the right rear like that. Saving is sort of a one of those things you just can't do, and when it's like that. So I just kind of rode behind him, was hoping that I could save a little bit and have something at the end. I felt like I did. Got around Kinder when he bobbled, and it was right on Kurtz's tail, about 3/10, 4/10. But I don't know if it was the aero bubble or he was just that fast, but I could not break it. I felt like I was getting on throttle sooner. I felt like my line was a little bit better, and I would get the run. But in 3 and 4, I really think the aero push is I lost every bit that I gained in 1 and 2. I could never gain it back in 3 and 4. Just kept losing it. So I kept pushing, and it got tight off the corner one time, clipped the wall, and I said, "Well, I'm done. I'm not going. I'm not going to risk a second place finish trying to break this air bubble." And Andy just drove a hell of a race, man. Just no mistakes there at the end. Just I needed him to make one little bobble, and he never did. So props to him. Ran damn near perfect there at the end.
Good points tonight for you. As you said, with the playoffs, points are important here tonight. So a great job with that. I know winning would make you happy, but second place can't be too disappointed when you're doing points like that. So congrats to that. Before I let you go, anyone you shout out, any thanks you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, thanks everybody in the field, racing hard, a lot of fun. Thanks to Jonah and Daniel for all the work they put in. It was fun to run Legacy Texas with a setup that they had to get together. Somebody had to fiddle with, had to get it from somebody. I mean, so definitely appreciate them putting in the work to let us do something different. And thank you for broadcasting, all the admins and all the sponsors that helped this thing go around.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats on the P2, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, man.
So that was Eddie Smith, your second place finisher. Let's bring in your winner here tonight, Andy Kurtz. Andy, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Hey, Josh, got you.
Man, what a great run for you here tonight, getting the win. Tough competition up front, too, with Kinder and Eddie there. Talk us through that last run, though. It looked like you were able to save your tires just a little bit better than them and pull away there at the end.
Yeah, man, no, that was awesome racing those guys. I think this setup and car and track combination was awesome. And I love this Legacy Texas compared to the modern one. So, yep, it was a lot of fun. Like I said, setup felt really good. You really had to be patient, just keep it on the bottom, run kind of that Kevin Harvick line. And if you'd bobble, that's when someone would pass you. So just kind of worked on that all race, and definitely had to save a little bit of tire too. And also, had a green flag pit stop. This was a great race by everyone. Really just one caution there at the beginning. So glad it played out so you could do two long runs and get a green flag pit stop in there. So yeah, all in all, it was a lot of fun. Good hard racing.
So you talk about that long green flag run there at the end, and as the leader, I'm sure it was in the back of your mind you thought the caution would have come back out. Were you kind of glad to not see that caution, or was that in the back of your mind thinking, okay, when's it going to come out?
Absolutely. Every time I'm in that situation, or situation just to get a good finish, and you want the race to just be done where you are. That's all you're thinking about those last couple laps, and you pair that with someone like Eddie reeling you in, half a tenth every second there for about 10 laps. You definitely want to see those laps, keep ticking away.
Well, again, awesome job getting the win. Playoff, you win the playoff race, the wild card race, to get not win, but finish high enough to move yourself into the playoffs, and take advantage of it immediately. Follow up with a win. So congratulations to that. That locks you into the next round. But how do you like your chances next week at the Roval?
Oh, the Roval. All right, yeah, that'll be cool. Trucks were just there this week or two ago. Yeah, a lot of fun. I like the Roval a lot. There's a couple road courses I really like, and not sure what it'll be like in this car, but I'm sure it'll be good. So looking forward to it. And awesome. I guess I could just take it easy.
That's true. You can just take it easy. Well, before we let you go, anyone want to thank? Any shots you got to give here tonight?
Man, yeah, I just want to thank you as always. Each and every week putting on a great broadcast for all of our series here. And I want to thank Kinder Farm and Ranch for being our sponsor here, Cofield Asphalt Refinishing, Dark Horse Motorsports, Peg Leg Felts, JC Race Graphics, you guys again, Rebel Racing Network. Just want to thank all the admins as well, putting all the time in. No, it's a lot of time making setups when they got to do that, and just doing everything they got to do to let guys like me race. So appreciate that.
Awesome, man. Well, again, appreciate the kind words here in the booth, and we look forward to seeing you Sunday night as you wheel that truck around the track. So good luck Sunday, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Thank you.
So there you have it, your winner here tonight, the driver of the 5 machine, Andy Kurtz. Again, we want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Twitch. We really do appreciate you. Don't forget to hit the like button, follow, and subscribe. Let you know anytime that we go live here on Intensity Broadcasting. Don't forget to check out our partners down below, intensitybroadcasting.com. That's our web store with hats, t-shirts, coffee mugs. Got some new designs in the original Rebels, including the Kinder Farm and Ranch collection. Check out Race EPI for your setups and coaching. Check out the Butt Kicker for that little extra feel. You're looking for that seat of the pants feel? Check out the Butt Kicker for all your gaming haptic needs. Of course, my name is Josh Hall. Thanks again for joining us here tonight on Intensity Broadcasting. Tune in Sunday night for the truck doubleheader as the playoffs kick off on Sunday with them as well. That's the Outlaw Series and the Rebels Truck Series. Again, congratulations to Andy Kurtz. And once again, as our boy Atman Weiss would say, over